Please be seated.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
This is a case of Robinson versus Fuller.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Yay. Mr. Robinson, after a 12-year relationship with the defendant, she confessed that your 3-year-old son, Brandon Jr., may not be your biological child. Now you say your engagement to Miss Fuller is broken off and your heart is in ruins because of the possibility you may now lose your son, too.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Fuller, you admit that you were indeed sleeping with another man at the time Brandon Jr. was conceived.
Yes, Your Honor.
Furthermore, you acknowledge you hid your doubts about paternity from Mr. Robinson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Additionally, Mr. Robinson, you are asking the court to award you $100 to pay the fee to change Brandon Jr.'s name if indeed the results reveal you are not his father and you have to move on without him.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
So, Mr. Robinson, how did you find out Brandon Jr. may not be your biological son?
It was maybe 6 months. 6 months. My son was 6 months. We had to separate because we had to move.
So you all were in a relationship?
We were in a relationship.
Baby was what?
Born. Yep. And we were living together.
6 months in?
6 months in, we had to move. We fell on some hard times.
Okay.
Respectively, I moved back to my mom's. She moved back to her mom's, okay? The day that it happened, it just so happened to be a birthday party also, okay? I take him to the birthday party. Later on, after the party is over, I drop him off at his grandmother's where I thought Miss Fuller would be, okay? When she didn't come down, that was fine, it was okay. I just dropped him off to his grandma. The next day comes and I call, no answer. So I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, okay. So another day passed. I'm calling all day the next day. No answer. I'm like, man, what's going on? So maybe a day or so, I'm starting to get these phone calls, but they're private. But I'm not answering them. But the private phone calls are coming like every hour, on the hour. So finally, after so many private calls in a row for so many days, I pick up the phone and she's on the line. She's like, hey, I'm about to be at Tower City. Can you meet us there? Me and Brandon. At first I'm mad. I'm like, no, I hang up. She called back and I get on the phone or whatever. Had to get myself together, gather my thoughts, get myself together. And I was like, okay, I'll meet you. But really I was thinking about, my son.
So how did you find out that Brandon Jr. may not be your son? When did you get that news?
He asked me when I contacted him if Brandon was his.
So wait, when you were calling from the private number all those days and you finally got through, he asked you on the phone or he said, meet me and I want to talk about this?
He asked me on the phone. He was mad at me and he was upset. He was wondering where we had been that whole week. And,
where were you that whole week?
I had left to go be with the guy that I thought could be his father.
So let me ask you this. What got in your mind to where when she finally called you from the private number, it was, is Brandon Jr. my son? How did you come to that realization that could be an issue?
Why would you just disappear?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you go?
He started looking like the other guy to me when he was 6 months. I have a picture.
Jerome, may I see that, please?
To me, he just didn't look.
Okay, now
the
the
pieces
pieces are coming together.
He didn't look like neither one of us to me at the time.
And that's why the disappearing act happened, because you just...
I was feeling guilty. My conscience was getting to me, and I couldn't look at him every day. And I lied to him all this time. I'm sorry.
So when Brandon Jr. started looking like the other guy, what did you say to Brandon Sr.?
I didn't really say anything. We was struggling at the time, so we had to move. And I didn't want to go back to my mother's. And I just thought, at the time, I thought it was a better move for me. And it wasn't.
So the truth is, while you all start struggling financially and all this was going on, you all trying to figure out where you gonna live, deep down inside, you're looking at your baby going, he does not look like this man.
Yes.
He looks like the other man. But you kept the whole relationship a secret. Hence, the private number. Wow. And all the while, Mr. Robinson, you're bonding with
Oh, yeah.
this baby is named after you.
Oh, yeah.
It's your son.
Sleeping on my chest at night, just everything. I mean, I barely move. I mean, you know, like I would sleep like this, real quiet, real move, real.
I know that
still.
move, real still.
And he just would lay on my chest and he would sleep.
He's the only guy my son knows as a father.
So that's my son. That's all. If he ran in here right now, Daddy, 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 he just gets so excited every time he sees me. I have pictures, if you would like to see,
Okay.
with us bonding.
Jerome, please pass that evidence up to me.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my guy. That's the first time I held him and fed him.
So you love this child.
Oh.
This is your son. And until he's 6 months old, you have absolutely no idea
None, Your Honor, none.
that he potentially couldn't be your son.
Oh, no way that I would ever have thought that, Your Honor, that he wasn't mine.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Now, this is his birth certificate here. You put your name on here?
Yes, I signed it. That boy changed my life. Brandon changed my life. I was on my way to some bad things. When he was born, it's just like, I gotta stop.
Brandon Jr. is 3 now.
3.
So you spent the next 2.5 years continuing
Yeah,
to bond.
yeah. And then we had a falling out, like serious falling out. She got on social media on my phone, okay, but didn't close it. Forgot to close it. So I'm sitting on the couch. I'm about to jump on my Facebook, but I'm looking at posts, my social media or whatever. I'm looking at posts like, wait a minute, this ain't mine. You know what I'm saying? So instantly I get kind of nosy, you know what I mean? And I start going in inboxes, reading inboxes. So I'm reading these inboxes, but she sent the one message to the guy, and I guess that's when she went to go live with the guy, saying that he didn't look anything like me and that she needed his help.
You saw a message that basically said, the baby doesn't look anything like Brandon Sr.
Right.
So I need your help.
Need your help.
And how old was Brandon Jr. at that time?
1.5. About to be 2 in like the next month.
So this was almost 1.5 years later.
Yep.
Does that open the wound again?
Definitely, it did.
So what happened?
I got upset, okay? Well, actually, I sat down on the couch at first, and I was like, So I handed her the phone. I was like, read this. So she reading it, you know. She kind of got a little look on her face or whatever. And I got up after that, and I went to the washer, and I started taking the clothes out the washer and out the dryer and all of that stuff. And I was like, get out. But I'm like, leave Brandon, because you got to work tomorrow anyway, and it was my day to keep him anyway. No. But I'm putting the clothes outside the house.
All right, so you putting her clothes outside the house.
But we had some neighbors outside, okay?
Okay.
So it spills from in the basement to outside. So we're outside and we're yelling, screaming back and forth at each other. Well, I'm doing most of the screaming, you know what I'm saying, and yelling or whatever. And the neighbors called the police.
All right.
We had a domestic disturbance out of that.
So why were you still talking to this guy where he would find these emails?
I met the guy a long time ago, like years ago, and we started seeing each other. And I don't know, I just still kept talking to him or whatever, but it was off and on for about 8 years or whatever. Around the time
It went on for how long?
it was like 8 years off and on, but it wasn't like
8 years off and on?
Yes.
Oh, until what time?
So around the time I got pregnant with my son, that's when I stopped. My son is like, I wasn't supposed to have kids.
What do you have?
Miracle.
What do you have there?
The calendar.
A calendar. Jerome, please.
I wasn't supposed to be able to have kids, so my son
this
was
is a
like a
calendar.
miracle baby.
This is a calendar that indicates the years you've been with Mr. Robinson. The second page of what you presented here indicates in 2004, you meet the other potential father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then you have a little break in 2005. 2006, you reconnect with that other potential father, and you're with him all the way through 2011.
It was more like when we would get into it, when he would put me out, that's who I would kick it with. That's who I would call.
And during the time of conception, you were with this other guy as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Robinson, I can tell by the look on your face you did not know this.
Oh, no, not at all, Your Honor.
So what was your understanding of the relationship with the other guy? Because there's a lot of blue going on up there.
No understanding, Your Honor. I didn't think it was another guy. No way.
So this is your first time figuring that out right now?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Robinson, do you now feel like there's even more of a chance Brandon Jr. is not your biological child?
I mean, yeah, 8 years, Your Honor. I'm so confused. Look, but no, I feel
That's understandable given the circumstances
Yeah.
and the information that's been presented in court today. Ms. Fuller,
Yes, Your Honor.
how do you keep an 8-year affair a secret?
I mean, like,
Go ahead and talk to him, because I can see you.
I'm sorry.
I understand, Felicia.
I am so sorry that I did this to you.
That's my dude. You hear me?
Because if he's not the father, like, it's just gonna be me and him, I feel like.
And now your baby has bonded with Mr. Robinson. I mean, he considers him his daddy.
Yes.
So, I hate to bring him up, but how are you explaining all of this to this other guy? Does he know that Brandon Jr. could potentially be his biological child?
Yes, he knows.
If he is his biological father, does he want to be a part of Brandon Jr.'s life?
I wouldn't want him to be a part of his life because he's not like the type of guy that you just want to raise your kid or, you know.
It's just the kind you just want to go to his house every time you get in an argument with your boyfriend.
At the time, yes.
So the truth is, with this mistake, you could lose a good man and your son could lose a great father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, Mr. Robinson,
Yes, ma'am.
do you want to still be in a relationship with Miss Fuller if, in fact, it's determined that he is not?
Your Honor, a relationship as far as what? Like our friendship that we have or
No, I mean a relationship.
together? No. She broke up with me, okay? We were supposed to get married in July, okay? So when Miss Fuller told me, you know, that she didn't want to be with me anymore or whatever, I said, fine, but there is no coming back. When you decide, okay, hey, I've sold my royal oats, I'm gonna come back and, you know, be with you. I won't be there like
But
that.
that's not why I broke up with you.
But I will
Why did you
always
break
be there.
up
Yeah,
with
I would love.
I did it for myself. I did it because I need to learn how to love myself more instead of trying to build a relationship with somebody and I'm not loving myself. I'm loving you more than I'm loving me. Like, that's not right. I need to build myself up. So that's why I broke up with him. It wasn't because of, you know, I wanted to be with somebody else. Like, I just feel like I need to get myself together and my life together for my son.
Respect that.
Understandable, Ms. Fuller. Now, Mr. Robinson, I want to ask you this. In your petition to the court, you indicated you were also requesting that the court award you $100 because if Brandon Jr. is not your biological child, you want his name to be changed.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Your Honor. That was said out of anger, okay? At the time, but.
Are you withdrawing your petition because you haven't quite decided yet and it's something you would like to revisit at another time?
I don't want to change his name. I don't want to change his name. Everybody know him. Brandon. Everybody call him Brandon. Brandon, Lil BB. You know, you can't just take that away from him.
So, with that said, Jerome, I think it's time we go to the result. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Robinson v. Fuller, as it pertains to the paternity of Brandon Robinson Jr., Mr. Brandon Robinson Sr., you are his father. Well, I don't even have to ask you how you feel.
Oh, man. You know, this, like my son say, he come to me, Daddy, he be like, Daddy, this the best day ever. You know, he always say, best day ever. So this brings right up there, finding out that, you know.
How you feel, Miss Fuller?
I'm relieved. I'm happy.
We have to understand. Jerome, how many times do I have to say it? But it never gets old. You cannot seek counsel under the covers. This is the perfect opportunity to begin again. Now, in that new beginning, the first thing you have to do is exactly what you spoke about. Learn how to love yourself more.
Amen.
Than you do. Because that's going to affect the choices you make in life. You understand?
Yes, sir.
If you don't feel you're worth it, you're going to keep making the wrong decisions. And you are worth it, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I wish you all the very, very best of luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm so happy, Jerome. I love this news, don't you?
Great news. Best
this
news.
is the best day ever,
Best
right?
day ever.
Congratulations. Court is adjourned.
Yeah, when I first heard the news, I felt great. It was great. It was a beautiful feeling, wonderful feeling. Son say, best day ever. Best day ever.
I apologize for everything I put you through.
I've been forgetting.
I just hope we can just continue our friendship
We
and
got it.
raise Brandon together.
We got it. You know that.